So I grew up, my mom has been an electrical subcontractor. And so I grew up in the construction related fields. And so, kind of seeing on job sites what the decisions that the engineers and the architects have made, how much it impacts the process itself. And so I've always kind of geared myself more towards the technical end of the spectrum, making sure that projects are done well. I enjoy the design process, and I like collaborating with people who are even better designers than I am, making projects look really good. But for me, my passion comes in the getting it done technically well.
Getting into it.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. And then, so I had two elective classes. One was debate and the other was drafting. And after going to a couple of debates, I quickly realized that being a lawyer kind of sucks. And the drafting was actually a lot of fun. You got to be creative and technical at the same time. So coupling that with working on construction sites with my mom's business really just kind of spurred that. So core values for me, it's a lot of accountability, really. Do what you say you're going to do, and stand behind the work that you do. And so for us, the design process starts with programming the building and making sure that it's going to function right by having all the right spaces that are adjacent to the right associated spaces. And so, ultimately, a designer should be able to visualize it in their own mind and create it into that 3D shape. But you have to be able to depict that so that the clients understand what they're going to be getting. So, as much as you hear about, the greats, the Frank Gehry's and Frank Lloyd Wrights and whatever, being these creative geniuses that create these, perfect projects every time. Design is a collaborative process where everybody is bringing their own unique history, skill sets, and design talents to the project. And it isn't one man's vision that is being realized. It's everybody working together to find a whole series of best people with a lot of time to develop a compatible, cohesive project that is well thought out from all aspects. Architects should be working with interior designers who are focused on the inside of the building. So where an architect is trained to do the inside, the outside, and everything around the site, there are people who focus on the site. There are people who focus on the interiors, what a lobby is supposed to look like from the inside, and let those experts do what they do best. And your job as an architect is to help integrate that into a cohesive whole. So I would say that when you look at whether it's Peter Zumthor or any architect, when you look through architecture magazines or books for design inspirations, are you just looking for imagery, or are you looking for the why behind it? Or his particular types of architecture don't translate really well into the types of projects that I work on, the higher ed and municipal sector projects. He did a lot of residential projects that you give them exactly what they're dialed into for that site, for that project, and those needs. But I think there's a lot you can take creativity wise from those types of projects, whether it's Zumthor or anyone else like that. It gives you a little hint at what you can do at a different scale for the types of projects that I do. Well, at the moment, the biggest challenge is availability of materials to get anything built. In a normal economy, it's making sure that clients have an understanding of the project, the scope, the budget, and making sure everything is aligned right at the start of the project very quickly so that there's no missed expectations. For someone who knows they want to be an architect, that's different advice than the advice I have to give to you, who's trying to find what your niche is in the world. There's a lot of things you can do to make money, but you really need to make sure that what you're going to do makes you personally happy. Finding that career that can achieve all of those touchstones that touch you in a meaningful way. Enrichment, personal fulfillment. Start seeing the urban planning and trying to create a design style that could be mass produced, so it could be delivered to the public, so they could get good design, but it didn't have to be crazy expensive at the same time. You put your mind to, how do I create an affordable housing for the Gen Z and beyond? How are they going to be able to live the American dream? And the only way they're getting there is to find what's the next evolution in housing so that it is both affordable to the buyer and profitable to the developer who's putting it out there in the first place.